because we are looking for those speakers to put them on stage, to give them a spotlight.
That the whole Usights community has to be at 1% of sales leaders, and in the long run, the whole sales organization.
Promoting sales excellence to the rest of the community and just, educating them of how they could actually make it happen. Welcome to the Revenue Discussion Podcast. This is episode 35, and every 5 episodes we give a little behind the scene of what is happening at Usights. And so for that, we have Martin back again. Hey, Martin.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Yeah, fun to have you again on the show, this time with new updates about Usights. And so I just leave it up to you. Where do you want to start?
Okay, let's start with the usual question that we did the last 2 episodes as well. What has been your favorite episode in the last 4 weeks?
Okay, favorite episodes. Good question. I will go for the one with Andrea Balducci, VP, head of revenue operations at Sortlist, because we really deep dive into the role of revenue operations. And I hear it all the time. People are always discussing about marketing and sales alignment. Sometimes I hear the terms marketing, which I actually don't like, but we'll leave that for another time. And revenue operations, I mean, the goal is not really that, but ultimately it helps that. And I feel that Belgium still need to know what revenue operations is. I still feel that a lot of people don't know what it is. And that episode was really just about that. What it is, why is it necessary, how do you approach it? And Andrea was really well prepared in the sense that he could really bring example of how he did it and is doing it currently. And so I thought, it was a pretty interesting episode.
Yeah, I think revenue operations indeed is something very important. And as you being Usights, we'll have to bring more of those practices of revenue operations to Belgium. In other countries, it's a very usual topic and thing to do.
Spot on. Now, Martin, you are the operational guy. So we have a couple of events in the pipeline, very interesting events. Maybe you should tell a bit more about that.
Yeah. Okay. First, I'll first start with the most the closest one. That'll be the sales development camp. That's for us a trial again. It's we will bring hundreds high performing SDRs or sales developers together for just an afternoon of inspirational sessions, networking, little after party. So that one's been online, and I think the registrations are going fast. So if you want to be there with the first 100, be quick. But I think that's enough of that. I think let's go to the more important one for us, the bigger one, our yearly conference, the We Are Sales Conference. Last week we did our first announcement for the speakers. So
exactly.
it's
and
fun.
so let's do it again. If you know someone that has very, how should I say it, innovative and also controversial practices, insights, anything related to sales management or leadership, share the podcast, share Usights, the conference We Are Sales with him or her, because we are looking for those speakers to put them on stage, to give them a spotlight, and just help the community moving forward by sharing those insights and knowledge.
Very true. And I think also a very important part is that it has to be practical almost, especially for our breakout sessions. We really want to see people with numbers, with practices, with almost scientific research of like, look, this is how it's done and this is why we do it and this is how you can do it. Really just share your experience with other sales leaders. So I think that's the main point of the speakers.
Yeah, couldn't say better than that. Do we have any virtual events also in the pipeline?
Yes. So that's even faster. It's already in almost a month, I would say. It's the first time we do a virtual panel. It's with 5 VP sales from Belgian companies, so it will be very interesting. It's thanks to our partners of Headlight that brought them together, and we will do some kind of interview to see what their road is towards VP sales, what best practices they want to share, and of course, where they see that there are misconceptions about the role as VP sales.
All right, love it. Let's maybe also move now on more how should I say it? We have the events and those are great stuff, but of course those are not our primary activity, or at least not the thing that we want to build with Usights. And so maybe we should talk a little bit more about the core business activity that we are trying to build and make happen. And so do you want to kick off with that? Say something.
Yeah, let's go. I think it's good you want to talk about it here because it's something that doesn't go like once we're building like we're doing now, it doesn't come to the forefront that much, and it's still important to keep people like on notice what we're doing. And I think the last couple of weeks we've been thinking again, like, okay, how are we going to structure it? How are we going to do it? And we really made the decision that we want to focus on high performers. That the whole Usights community has to be that 1% of sales leaders, and in the long run, the whole sales organization of high performers.
Hmm.
And maybe you can clarify now where we will start and how we will test this hypothesis of what we're thinking that high performers want.
Yeah, and I think what I would add on what you said there, it's not that we operationally whilst we'll do something totally different. It's not like we are going to pivot or anything. It's just more the perception to the external, I mean to the world that actually we don't want to build a sales community. And I think that has been for me like a difficult thing to understand myself. We don't want to be the sales community. We don't want, if you are in sales and we are the sales community, you should be welcome. And I think that in some way we said, no, we really want to promote sales excellence. We want to put high achievers that have, the right intentions, the right commitments, the right discipline, and then performance is just a result of all of that. We want to make that happen. We want to promote that. We want to help in a way that we can facilitate all that happening. And so I think that that is the biggest, at least mind shift I will say to me, is that we are not building a sales community anymore. And again, it sounds like maybe we are pivoting. We are not pivoting at all. We're still doing the same thing. We're just doing it for a small segment of the market, of the sales community.
Yeah, I think the only thing that it will change a bit is that the programs will be more structured. There will be more of a cohort-based style of learning in those programs that we will organize. More on that
Mhm.
later. We're still working in the background, but it will be more structured, I would say.
Yeah, because to answer your question in how we will approach it, I mean I will not reveal too much of how do we want to do it because it is kind of a R&D project right now in the sense that we will work with beta members in Q1 of 2023 to really, right now we have a model and the idea is to roll it out with those beta members of a very specific niche of 20 to 25 individuals that share similar sales environments, all VP sales, I mean VP head of sales, chief revenue officer, I mean whatever it's in name, but at least have that sales management and sales leadership responsibility. And we will roll out the model that we have now in place, and then see, and just I mean, do some pivots, some changes until we have an offering that really resonates with what they want to have, not would love to have or as a nice to have. No, they want to have it. Once they have been in touch with that aspect that we are offering, they don't want to leave it, and that's really something that will be hard to work on, but I mean, I think we are pretty crystal clear in that is what we want to achieve, and so we cannot back down and just go for it, man.
That's it. Well said. Well said. I think if you want to, like, if you take the through line of U sites, of course, that everything we'll do will be for the high performers. And I think also with VR sales and other events, it's actually what we want to promote. It's not like we want to keep the practices as they are. It's like we always wanted to bring new things to the forefront. And I think now we just make it more noticeable to the outside world. So
Yeah, and I think in a way we still want to contribute to the sales community in the sense that, I mean, that's kind of a belief I have. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but I think that the outliers, the high performers, they don't do what the 99% of the other sales leaders do, unless they are in a market and it's very just uh, an effect of the market or whatever an other external reason could be. But I think that still, to a certain extent, the high performers, the really outlying high performers, they're doing something very special, very unique, very out of the box, or they are very commit. And there is something probably very special, and we want to really facilitate that they still have, is kind of an environment where they can really become the best version of themselves. But then that means that we will be in touch with them. We will be able to gather all of those, out of the box, creative, all of kind of their secrets, those high performance secrets, and share it then with the community, whether it's via articles, via video content. Doesn't matter what the content is. In some way, this will be our marketing, I guess, but in another way, it's also just promoting sales excellence to the rest of the community and just educating them of how they could actually make it happen.
Amen to that.
Amen to that. All right. I don't know, to be honest, if we have anything very important to add on that.
I think we just have to wish everybody some good festivities, well, a good Christmas, a good start of the year, and of course, for the salespeople, a good end of the year. I think now it's a very busy period for a lot of people, so let's keep to that.
I think that's very well said. No, thanks, Martin, for coming on the show, and we'll see you again in a month from now.
Yes, see you in a month.